Roll. All right, cool. So what are we looking at here? Another box. It's been a while. Why do we have all this gear laying out, Paul? I don't get it. Lost. Sorry, Elizabeth. Let's see what we got here. I think I'm gonna break this thing. There's an Allen wrench in here, which I never, these always end up in the garbage because I already got 1,000 of them. And lastly, we got this. So what is this? This is what's going to make all of the rest of this stuff make sense. So today I'm going to talk about car mounts, something that I've used for the past decade. Car mounts are just a really cool way to capture neighborhoods, and that's what I originally built the INDIRAP car mount around. It's really cool when you use a car mount, especially if you're in a big city and you throw your camera on there and you throw a wide lens on there and you're shooting up at buildings. It's a perspective that you can't get on foot unless you're rolling through on a skateboard, but even then you're not able to roll down the middle of the street on a skateboard. You can, but you're gonna have to be ducking and dodging cars and scooters and motorcycles and all sorts of other shit. So I originally built it out with this thing. As you can see, this thing's been through hell and back. It's performed at the highest level. It's my favorite suction mount. I'll show you some other ones that I use too today, but this is my favorite because it spreads the weight out across the entire hood of the vehicle or whatever you're putting it on. This is gonna be a two-part thing. Me and Paul are gonna show you how to put this thing together, or how we put ours together. And then we're gonna take you outside and show you how this thing works. So this is the first part. As you can see, you have to power the actual Ronin itself because this is your RS2. The reason you gotta power is because on an RS2, this is the battery. This handle, it's an actual battery, right? The problem with this thing though is if we rig this thing up on here and then put this up here, your center of gravity is way too goddamn high. The camera's gonna be all the way up here. I'd rather have it down here, which is a way more stable, way more centered, way more gravity balanced way to rig your camera up, and less opportunity to get all that shake as you're driving down the street or on the highway or whatever you're doing, chasing a car, running from the cops, whatever you're into. So that's the reason we got this, is because we're not using this. So let's see if this thing works. Boom. So because there's no battery on here, how do we get it to work? So I'm gonna go ahead and let's just go ahead and kind of rig this thing on here. Probably gonna need some pliers or a wrench or something to get that the way I really want it. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and do that there. Or turn it around. You can see these two P-taps are here. Power taps, if you don't know what a P-tap is. But the reason those are there is because I gotta power a couple of things on here. I'm gonna power the Ronin with one of these V-mount batteries. This is just a V-mount battery. It's a hypercore. A lot of people use these to power cameras and other things. That is what this is for. So this first P-tap going in, right? It's going into this thing, and I'm gonna loop it out to power something else. But this first one's gonna go right into this V-mount battery. Boom, just like that. Let's see if this thing powers on. Yep, as you can see, boom, it powers on. This thing will probably do its thing in 2 seconds up. There you have it, moving up, trying to balance. So the next piece that I'm putting on the actual car mount itself is my wireless transmission. This is a monitor that we usually have in the car when we're driving around. We used to just hardwire. We used to run like a 10-foot HDMI from the inside of the car out this thing, out onto the hood, up onto here. But we decided to use a Teradek Bolt. It's a 500-foot transmission receiver system that we use to transmit from the actual Ronin, the camera feed, into the monitor that'll be inside the vehicle. So this needs power though, right? So how do we power this? This LEMO to P-tap that I mentioned right here, this goes here, and this, I don't know where it goes. I need a LEMO to LEMO, that's what I need. Cut. All right, so we skipped forward because I found out that I need to actually order another LEMO to LEMO for this to work. But for now, I'm gonna use this LEMO to P-tap and just run it in here. But I'm kind of gonna jump forward real quick, put this thing together, and then come back and kind of break down how it all works. All right, so there you have it. Everything's set up. We got a Ronin S2, we got our A7 S3, we got a 14 mil Sigma Art. This is our Teradek receiver that's being powered. Teradek receiver and Adamus monitor that we've had for many years. It's still great. All that being powered by another V-mount back here. So this would be in the vehicle, you know, as we're driving by to monitor everything. This is the setup. This is the wireless setup to be able to check everything out. We'll see you out on the street putting this thing to use. Nothing's tougher than a Husky contractor cleanup bag. If you need tough cleanup bags for your mess, get a Husky cleanup bag. What do you think? So today we're actually, you know, we set this up, we got everything, we're gonna test this out. We're out here in the West Loop today. Peter, don't get hit by that car right there. We're gonna be testing, obviously, stability, making sure that this thing's rock solid on there, testing out the transmission between the receiver and the transmitter. We're gonna be testing out different focal lengths to see, you know, how we wanna use this thing, you know, moving around the city, see how this thing performs on the street, across potholes and all this kind of shit. So we're gonna set this up right now and try not to get hit by a car. So I always like to throw a little water on here for obvious reasons. Throw just regular fucking water for suction. It's hot outside. I'm gonna get max suction. I always kind of moisten the hood just for that extra suck. Everybody likes a little extra suck. So we got that set up. Obviously, we got a transmission from here. Paul's setting up this Xbox controller to actually control the gimbal. We obviously got the Sony controlling the camera settings, so we don't really got to get outside of shit. We'll see if Paul chokes or not with this Xbox controller. I prefer a PS4 controller, but you know Paul, you know how he is. So we ran that 1424. We're gonna go 2470. So again, this is just a test. We're just testing this setup to make sure that it works. Testing all the focal lengths. We use this for different shit. Let me balance this shit. Yeah, so there's another part of this is driving the vehicle, right? The longer the lens you got, the more instability it is, right? We got three things going on. We got internal stabilization on the lens, we got it on the camera, and we got it on the gimbal, obviously, but still, the further you go out, the slower you gotta drive. Chicago's full of potholes and all sorts of other shit. So I'm trying to keep it between 15 and about 20 miles an hour at the max. If you really wanna nail some shit on a long lens, you really gotta be 10 miles an hour. And really to get those without pissing off traffic, you gotta throw this on. Get in the right lane and nail those long lens shots, especially on like 100 mil. 120p, that's when you get that real serious gangster shit. So, you know, it's not just about this, because if you're driving like an idiot, this guy ain't gonna be able to do what he's gotta do, so you gotta pay attention to the speed. Listen to the Transylvania music they got. Isn't that great? Why are they playing Transylvania music outside of Walgreens right now? I don't know. It's crazy. The last time I was here, I told the security guy, I'm like, why the fuck are y'all playing Dracula music outside? You know, I don't get it. But anyways, yeah, we ran through today. We got what we needed. Found out that these batteries run for about an hour. This thing's legit at 100 mil. I think everything looks better at night, so we'll probably come back out at night. If I survive this Transylvania music, we'll see what happens. If I don't get bit in the neck by a vampire while I'm fucking standing here. Paul's gonna take this off. I'm gonna try and mic Paul.
This is all it takes right here. Ready? Ready, ready, ready?
That's it. Good.
Saw that penetrate like that.
No accidents.
And there you have it, folks. Carmount. I got to get out of here before the helicopter. The GTA 5-6 stars. We got 5-6 stars right now. They're after us. So before we get caught, we're gonna ride out before the helicopter catches your boy. We got 6 stars.